What is up? Let's get right into it. It's about 8:05. Let's see. What is over here? Good morning, good morning. Hopefully everyone slept well. I don't know why I'm so tired this morning, but we're about to get right into it. How many people we got in here right now? 15? 15. It's because I'm starting early. Every time I start early, but they should start coming in. Now let's go right into everything that we're looking at for today. Now earnings. Again, today is Wednesday. This morning, Neo, Wendy's, Lowe's, Dollar Tree, Kohl's, and then we have Rivian after hours yesterday, as well as AMC, Novavax, and then that's pretty much it that I'm looking at. After hours today, Snowflake, Plug, Salesforce. That's pretty much it. So we're going to go over all of these earnings that happened in a bit. Alright, now taking a look at the calendar for today. 9:45 PMI, 10 o'clock manufacturing index, 10 o'clock construction spending, petroleum status report at 10:30. So we do have some stuff today. 9:45, 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 10:30. So we got to be careful about that on a Wednesday. Every single day there's always something this week. So you got to be careful about that. You don't want to get stuck in that. Now let's go into every single stock that we are looking at, stocks to watch, all that good stuff. Now, stocks to watch, as you guys saw, Rivian had earnings yesterday. So the electric car company said it is recalling more than 12,000 vehicles to fix a faulty sensor. Its second major recall in less than 6 months. Rivian stock fell almost 8% in pre-market trading. Novavax, the COVID-19 vaccine developer, on Tuesday warned that, let's see, shares, I don't even care about all that. Shares plunged 25% pre-market. AMC, shares fell 8.5% pre-market, widen, so it has a wider quarterly loss. And then a bunch of Chinese companies rose pre-market, tracking a rally in Hong Kong. Okay, so we'll take a look at all those in a second. See if anything good here. Charting the markets. New home sales at China's largest property developers rose on a yearly basis in February after a long downturn. Demand for U.S. workers shows signs of slowing, a long-anticipated development that is showing up in private sector jobs postings. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. This day in the markets. The first U.S. savings bond was issued after Secretary of the Treasury Henry, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, observed that the U.S. lacked okay. And last but not least, let's go over this. America is trying to electrify. Let's see. Why are they trying to electrify? They are needed to install the electric car chargers. Okay, so probably just going over that. What to watch for today? Someone speaks at 9 o'clock in the morning. We have 9:45 is the manufacturing index. Another manufacturing index at 10 o'clock. And then construction spending, 10 o'clock as well. Booming U.S. labor market shows signs of cooling. Home price growth slowed in 2022. Tomorrow never knows. Dun, dun, dun. Consumer confidence index fell to 102.9 in February from a 106 a month earlier. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. Just goes over China's economy emerges from COVID's shadow. What else are we reading? Okay. Alright. That looks about everything. All the news, everything, earnings, all that good stuff. So now let's actually go over the earnings themselves. Let's take a look at NVAX, which is Novavax. Oh my gosh. This thing is cheap. Yeah, I was about to say, I remember it trading in like the 50s, 60s. Now it's in, actually, I think I remember trading this in the hundreds. How long ago was that? Oh my gosh. You guys, oh my goodness. Dude, I have not traded this thing in so long. Was this only a year ago? This is about, yeah, a year ago. 2 years ago, almost. That's crazy. Now it's down to $6. From $3.31 to $6. This is why it's like, you gotta be able to know what price to pay for the stocks that you're buying. You don't just buy it at random prices and trying to hold it long term. People try to buy stocks for long term at yesterday prices when it's not today's prices. Today's prices is this. And they're going to buy it at $300 on something that's hyped up like that just because of COVID. COVID is not going to last every year. It's only going to last 2020, 2021, maybe 2022, but 331. Look at that. Like, why would people even think to buy long term after a huge move like that? Like, that's crazy. People like to chase this stuff. That's exactly the opposite of trying to buy long term. You wait for it to get to your margin of safety or whatever price you're trying to pay for it. People don't think. You gotta think. But yeah, this is at $6. It's crazy. Novavax, Rivian announced earnings as well yesterday, down to $17. That's crazy. All these earnings are bad. AMC had earnings. It's the only time I'm looking at this thing. It's down to $6 as well, just like Novavax. Dude, this thing has been running at 100% in like 2 weeks. Now it came back down because of earnings. AMC, Rivian, Novavax. I think that was pretty much it. Oh, Wendy's. I don't know what Wendy's ticker is. When? Yeah, that's not even doing anything. But we do have earnings after hours. Snowflake, that's what I'm looking at. You guys can see this 180 level is the main level that I'm looking at for upside if it gets there, depending on how earnings are. But I feel like earnings will give us new levels anyway. And then Plug, let's see, Plug's at $14. I wouldn't even look to trade this. This is too cheap. But earnings is after hours as well for Plug. Now let's take a look at Tesla. As you guys can see, let's put this on the 1 hour. We literally are not getting out of this range. Like, this area right here is ridiculous. Back and forth, back and forth. You guys can take a look at ES, right? We have, I literally thought that we were going to finally break our zone right here, our buyer zone yesterday. Next thing you know, we keep bouncing. If we take a look at my main levels right here, I added new levels to the downside right here. I thought I was going to retest. I thought, we might get a bounce over here today and we'll be able to play calls off of that. No, we're right back in the middle of our range. We have been stuck in this range for, it feels like forever. And even though it's only been like, 2 weeks, we have been stuck in this range for the longest time now. Just back and forth. We literally resistance, support. That's it. And it's been so nice for us because it keeps going back and forth and we're able to play calls, puts. It's been pretty easy. But it's just, I kind of want to get out of this range. Like, I'm tired of playing the same things over and over again. Like, I want to play it under this 39.40 area or above this 40.40 area. I don't want to keep playing the same thing over and over again. Because the moves aren't going to be as wild if we keep playing the same moves over and over again, because then it becomes too predictable. And if something becomes too predictable in the market, it's just not going to work out the way that we expect. And yesterday, despite how choppy yesterday was, like looking back from an insider's perspective, like trading this, it didn't even feel that choppy. Like, you had to be super patient yesterday. Like, looking back, you're like, wow, like, what was that? But actually trading this thing, it was actually pretty great. Like, especially the way that I trade back and forth like this is perfect. So, it looks choppy. It was, but, like, while it was making the candles, I feel like all you had to do was just be patient, and it was it wasn't, I wouldn't say easy, but it was very nice. Yes, trading yesterday was very nice. So I will say that. Signals were banging yesterday. Yeah, we were going off yesterday. I don't know how. Like, looking back and you see how choppy and slow this is, looking back, it's like, yo, like, you had to be real patient for this thing. And we were. That's the thing. We were. And that's, I don't know how I went 5 for 6 on a day. Usually choppy days is like 1 for 1 or like none. I don't really trade. But yesterday, for some reason, was setting up so nice. Like, I think it's just the way that I was trading ES. It just made it like, days that it keeps going back and forth is like probably the best, honestly. Or if it just keeps going in one direction. So either way, like, instead of not being able to trade on a choppy day, I could trade on a choppy day, and I could trade on a day that just keeps going or something like that, or set it up super well. So I think that's the best part about this strategy, is I literally could play choppy days and do great, and I could literally, if it keeps going and keeps going, we'll be in that, and it would be nice, right? Like, it would be amazing, and that's the strategy that you need, honestly, because breakouts is cool on days that aren't ranging like this. But if I could do a mixture, so I have a strategy on choppy days and I have a strategy on days that just keep going, then it's like you're unstoppable. Instead of missing 1 out of your 5 days every week, which is 20%, which adds up, you could trade 5 days and actually make bank instead of just getting chopped up or something like that. So I think that is the best part about the way that I'm trading ES right now. And yesterday, I didn't even know until after, like, how choppy and slow it was, just looking back, because when we were trading, it didn't really feel like that. It felt like it wasn't aggressive, and then it stops and it gets aggressive again. But I don't know. It was just something about yesterday. So I want to see how today goes. But if it can survive a choppy day like yesterday, then I want to see how it does today. But we have some levels here on Tesla. It is Wednesday, so I'm going to be looking at Tesla a little bit more today. Like I said, Tesla and NVIDIA, I don't really play breakouts in Tesla and NVIDIA until Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, just because contracts do not move on Monday and Tuesday. The reason why they don't move is because contracts on Tesla and NVIDIA are 5 days till expiration or 4 days till expiration on Monday and Tuesday. So the further the way they are to expiration, obviously they're not going to really move that much because they have so much more time to get to where they need to be by expiration. But this is why I'll be playing 0DT on SPY every single day, Monday, Tuesday. And then Wednesday, since it is 3DT, we might see a nice move on Tesla and NVIDIA. And I kind of want to mix it up a little bit on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, but still look at ES. And if we catch a very nice move on Tesla or NVIDIA, it wouldn't be until Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Most likely Thursdays and Fridays are very nice for Tesla and NVIDIA, but Wednesdays, like, if there's a really nice level on NVIDIA or Tesla, then I'll play it on Wednesday. But looking at ES more, looking at SPY, you'll make a higher percentage gain, obviously, if you look at SPY and ES on Monday and Tuesday versus if you're looking at NVIDIA and Tesla. So if I can make more percentage-wise, which means I should be making more money on Monday and Tuesday if I look at SPY versus Tesla, why would I give any attention to Tesla and I would just look at SPY the whole time in ES? But it is Wednesday, so we are looking at Tesla. We'll add it to the bunch today. This 200 level looks good. We are about $7 away, but I am looking at that $200 level. Next up, I think 195 already broke. Yeah, that already broke, so we get rid of that. But our next level to the downside is that 199, potentially. I want to see how that area looks. And then at 210 and 218, I want to see how these areas react. 192 as well, 188. And just these two levels right there. 218, we had a reaction level right under 218 at 217.82. We pretty much had all these levels already. We just kind of just been back and forth in between these levels, but I don't really need to go over them again. But yeah, these are all the levels I'm looking at on Tesla. Now, NVIDIA, as you guys can see, the market just does not care, and it broke our zone after hours. And now it's right back above our zone, right? So this is our zone right here. I could drag this over a little bit. And we are back above it. So this market does not care. The only level that I'm looking at for upside is this 240 level. I don't really care about the zone anymore, but I am looking at this area right here, this 226 area. Reason being is because we had a very nice reaction after hours in that area, and then when we broke out, we broke out all the way up to the 230. So that was nice. Take a look at a 1 minute time frame, and we go back about 10 days. We can see exactly how that 226 level reacted. It looks good, right? This looks like a very nice level. 227 as well. I want to see how 227, because 227 actually kind of looks nicer. 226 is still there as well. You guys can see we had reactions here, this whole reaction there. We broke under that, and then we broke out of that, literally 60 cents, came back down, and we kind of bounced, right? So I want to see exactly what happens here around that 226, 227 area, but that's exactly what I'm looking at for downside if we get there. And then 240 to the upside is what I'm looking at, and then after that, not until that 215 and then 210. So that's pretty far away. That's not going to happen today, and if it does, it's just way too extended for me to even take it. But I'm looking at Nvidia and Tesla. Netflix, I've been looking at this 330 level just because of 2 days ago. You guys can see we had a perfect reaction at 330. Literally the top of this is 330, which makes this look super nice. So I'm looking at this 330 to the upside. That is the only thing that I'm looking at. I don't even look at Netflix like that, but we saw that that 330 level is looking amazing. Now downside, we had this 314 level. We've been looking at this for quite a while as well. As you guys can see, we came down, tested at 314, and kind of just came right back up to that 330 area. Now we're back and forth, so now we're just ranging. Snow, like I said, earnings is coming up, but I am looking at that 180. Downside, earnings is going to give us a new level anyway, just because if this thing starts to dump because of earnings, it probably will stop at like 135 or 130 or 140. So it would give us a new level for downside, maybe a new level for upside, but that 180 is what I'm really looking at on Snowflake, honestly. And then, actually, we'll go over NQ real quick. So NQ has literally been the same as well, which is insane. We've literally had these levels here every single day, and we've just been stuck in this range. So, again, the zone is right here. A very nice bounce off of that around Sunday. And then we came up, came back down, and we're literally just rejecting the top of this area right here. Rejection right there. We came in it, came right back down. Now we're trying to reject this area again, so I want to be careful about all of these levels here on NQ. Very nice reactions though. There's some very nice reactions there. Important key level, zone, reaction, and then our zone. So it looks good. Again, I can only really play calls if we start to get down here and we start to bounce. Like, I want to be careful about playing calls unless there's something intraday, like right here or something like that. Then we could play calls off of that. But again, this thing is starting to reject this, so I want to see exactly what happens with NQ. Not really concerned about NQ, because if it's in the middle of this range, then if ES is setting up, then I'll play it either way. But I just want to be careful about just these reaction areas right here. Number one right here, you guys can see this area right here as well. This whole area for calls, and then this zone right here, right? I can only play calls if it gets down there. I'm not going to play puts. Same thing here. This thing came down so aggressively. People were trying to play puts just to get burnt, and then you could have just played calls off of this area, and that would have been super nice, right? Like, people do the opposite of what you're supposed to do. And this is why people get chopped up, because people don't understand that, again, if there's a lot of support in this area, why on earth would you ever think to play puts yet? Now, you have to be able to identify, is there more sellers here than buyers? If yes, then you're able to play puts. But if there's more buyers here than sellers, which there is, then why would you think to play puts just yet, right? Calls right now until there's enough signs telling you to actually be able to get puts. Like, if this closes under this 11,918.25, that's telling me to get puts. If I needed to get puts, then I'll be able to. Now, again, this isn't just, oh, if it closes under here, you get puts. Everything has to align. Like, I'm looking at multiple time frames. I'm looking for entries. Just because it breaks under here does not mean that's an entry. That's just a confirmation that I can get puts. If NQ closes under here, I can get puts. Now let's see if ES is setting up so I can actually execute to get puts. Let me look at every single time frame to see what they're doing. Oh, this is too aggressive. Then I'm not going to get puts, or I'm not going to get calls. So you have to be able to identify that, but these are just areas of interest that you could play off of. I can't play anything if NQ is literally bouncing. I can't play puts if NQ is bouncing off our important key level, right? The only thing I can play is calls. And if ES is setting up for calls, then I'll be able to take that. If NQ is breaking under our important key level and I want to play calls on ES, then I'm not going to be able to until NQ establishes that it's actually strong around this important key level. And this is how you can be very consistent. This is why I look at all this stuff, because it is so important. I make it look so easy. It is the hardest thing ever to be able to identify and actually look at everything all at once, and to be able to formulate a plan real time right now to be able to actually execute. It takes a lot for me to execute, and it looks like, oh, I'm just getting in calls here. Wow, that looks so easy. It just went in his direction. Do you know how hard it is to be able to click the button when you're supposed to? Everything needs to align. Like, all the stars need to align for me to click the button. And people only see me saying, I'm in these calls or I'm in these puts. Like, it is the hardest thing to have all the stars align, have everything aligning for you to be able to enter in the first place. And that's like the most important thing. If you could figure out when to enter and when to click the button, you'll be great. Everyone can click the button whenever. Everyone can get in calls, everyone can get in puts whenever. But it's just about when you're getting in calls and when you're getting in puts, and actually be able to formulate a plan off of everything that you're looking at, all the different time frames, everything that's coming down, all these reaction levels. Like, every single level that I have on my chart is for a reason, and it's not like, these are all for a reason. If it gets down here, there's a reaction there. I want to be careful. I'll formulate my plan off of that. I'll formulate my plan off of here. I'll formulate my plan off of here. But that's why I look at multiple stuff. I can't go against ES and I can't go against NQ, and they better not be going against each other, or I just can't formulate a plan. But we have this zone right here, as you guys can see, like this, for example. So we go over here, right? I can't play calls. If this comes up, and this is previous low day, I can't play calls off of that just yet, right? This is now holding in our zone, try to come down, came right back out. It held our zone. The only way that I could play calls is if it closes above here and shows that buyers are still there around that 39.65. I can't play calls right here. The only way that I'll be able to play puts is if it comes under our zone and it holds, and after the first test of a huge move like that, that is super risky, right? If it comes up, rejects this, and it comes down and breaks under my level, my support zone, that's when I'll be able to play puts. If this breaks out and holds, then I'll be able to play calls, like formulating and playing off of that. And then I need to make sure that NQ is looking good. And then I need to make sure that all my time frames are looking good for upside or downside, depending on what I'm playing. And I want to make sure there's actual buyers there, and I want to make sure there's walls actually holding this thing up. And I want to make sure there's not any huge walls above that or below that, depending if I'm playing calls or puts. That's going to stop me midway in the trade, and it's not going to continue. And I want to make sure I have all the reaction areas. So there's a lot that goes into it. A lot. So it's just, you need to make sure correlation is huge. So this thing came up, right? Again, this area right here, you want to be careful. Why? Because it's the top of our zone. I don't know why it's not letting me do this. There we go. You have to be careful about the top of this area. Again, look at all the reactions in this area. Came up, came back down. Came up, came back down. Came up, came back down. Right? It's just all this. And I promise you, NQ is probably telling us not to get in yet. Let's look. Right? So ES is doing all this. It doesn't look that good. We had a huge move to the upside already. After a huge move like this, you got to be careful about taking something, right? It needs to cool down, and this is not enough cool down at all. And I'm surprised it kept going, because this is just, it's choppy, it's slow right in that area, but we came up so much. You're chasing the move at that point. You're chasing the move in this area, which is why you're waiting so long to get a nice move in your favor, because it already came down. It came up from all the way over here, came up to this. This is where you can make your trades. This is where you make your trades. If it rejected that, it came down to there. After this huge move like that, and it barely had any pullback, like this is not enough pullback to justify this huge move, it's gonna range back and forth like that. And I'm surprised it didn't come down further, maybe retest this zone right here, this area right here. But after a huge move like that, you got to be careful, and it's at some point you're just chasing it, and you're just chasing it if you keep getting into here, because this thing already kept moving. Now, it would be smart if you did want to play continuation after you missed that huge move, you play it right off of here, right? You play it right off of here. People are taking profits, comes up, you play the breakout, and then you could take profits at literally the top of that area. That was a perfect sell, because look, it comes back and forth, and you're stuck in this trade for another hour. So this is also able to identify when to actually start taking some profits and then just lead the runners. You guys can see it literally retested this area right there. But now ES is literally falling again. Feels like I said that yesterday as well, but this is crazy that we just keep going back and forth like that. I'm so surprised we're literally back above this zone. I thought for sure we're going to keep going. I thought we're about to see like under 39.50s when I woke up. Next thing you know, this thing absolutely is in the 39.80s. I'm like, what? Like, that's crazy. But yeah, this reaction area right here, like for example, like look how reactive this 39.85 area is. We broke above it, right? So if you're going to play calls, once it broke above it, you're able to scalp this to the upside. And then when it came back down and started retesting this, right? This looks weak. Every time frame probably looked like it was showing weakness. You see it rejecting. It broke under that. Started rejecting. Easy move to the downside. Started holding. Now, a lot of people would get puts right there. A lot of people would try and get puts right there. That one candle that pulled back. Can anyone tell me why that is just not very high probability at all? Does anyone know why getting puts right there, just off that one reaction right there, is not high probability? Like, why would I not do that? Why is that not high probability? And why is this high probability this is going to continue to the downside versus this one? Not enough confirmation. Exactly. What does that mean, not enough confirmation? Essentially, you just got to think about it for a second. Because a lot of people don't think, and I understand because it's super emotional. Like, when you're trading, it's stressful, right? It's frustrating sometimes. And you don't think clearly. When you look back in your trades, you're like, why would I ever enter there? Why would I ever enter there? Yeah, it's clear when you look back, but when you're actually trading, it's probably not going to be as clear, which is why you need a plan. Number one, you got to think about it for a second. If we just had this huge move to the upside and we had this one candle right there, you are gambling for an entry. This thing could just keep going. If it was this aggressive to the upside, why do you think it's just going to stop there? Right? After a huge move like that. And it didn't. It just kept going. Sometimes this might work, but again, that's not high probability whatsoever. This is straight gambling. This is literally a huge move to the upside, and this is all you get. You got to think about it for a second. Versus this, look at this. We broke out. We broke right back under, and then we retested it. I went in and took it off the first retest, right? I usually try and look for like a 1-2 or just a break under that. And this is what I like to call it, is just a breakout reversal. Is like, I wouldn't have got it until it broke out under that area, right? We see that establishing a bottom right here. It retested that. If it broke that, then I'll be able to play puts, right? But then it tested it again, showing weakness. So then if I see actual weakness there, then I'm very confident that this thing is going to try and come down. And then when it breaks under that, that's when I'm able to get puts. But again, this is way more confirmation. You're able to get it off that candle alone. Maybe even that candle alone, and just put your stop loss above that zone, above this important key level, because this is looking weak. Now, this, you just got to think about it for a second. If you guys can see how aggressive this is, and then it just stops right there, and then you think to get puts, that is gambling. That is insane. All right? That is crazy. Now, again, I wouldn't be looking. Look, it literally came right to our zone. So let's pretend our zone wasn't there. I would not be looking for calls after a huge move like this just yet to the downside, right? This is a nice aggressive move to the downside. I'm not looking for calls yet. We're at our zone. What do we need to look for? We need to look for it holding, okay? Now we need to look for it to come up a little bit. So if this holds this zone right here, which is perfect. This is exactly what I want to look for. If it holds here, which is looks like it's trying not to, but let's say it holds right here, I want to see it come up a little bit. So I see a nice reaction at that low right there. I want to see it kind of come up and then come right back down and test that again. And if it holds, that's when I'm able to play calls, right? And right now it's trying to close above it. But again, you're gambling if you're getting calls right off of here just because we're in the zone. Just because you have a zone there doesn't mean you're just going to get calls. If we had a huge move like this already, if I'm going to get calls, we need to see the one reaction here. It comes up because that confirms that there's a reaction there, and then comes right back in and then tests that again and then holds it still. And I see all the time frames are looking good. It looks like it wants to switch up and go back up, and it wants to act every single time frame, but you also want to make sure that bookmap is also showing strength as well as time of sales in the direction that you want, which is going to be calls, which is upside. But right now, you guys can see this closed under the zone. So if there was a plan to play puts, this is it, right? If you were playing puts, this is it. A lot of people would probably try and gamble and play calls off of that, not knowing that we are in a reaction area. And look at that, right? You already had a 3-point drop on ES almost. So this is why it's super important to not, like, look at that. Like, look how well the zone works real time right now. Like, I don't know how much easier we can make this thing. A lot of people would probably try and play calls here because they see a reaction level. No. Especially because it just closed under there. I want to see this thing come up. Not a lot. I want to see this come up a little bit to see a reaction. And then if it comes back down and retests that and holds, then I'll be able to play calls. But if it closes under here, look how nice and aggressive this whole move was. Why on earth would you ever think of playing calls? And then, look how real time this level worked. It closed under there, right? It closed under a reaction level. That's when you're able to play puts. If you were thinking about playing puts, right? Which if the market was open, I would have been all over that. But if we were thinking about playing puts, you would have had a super nice move to the downside. That would have been 10% easily. And you just put your stop loss to break even on the rest of the contracts and just let this thing ride. Again, what's the next area of interest? This previous low a day, right? So you would start taking profits along the way, but you want to be super careful about this previous low a day. Just because there is a lot of buyers in this area, so I want to see exactly what happens when we get down to this previous low a day. I put my stop loss to break even. We can't predict anything. All we could do is react, and I want to start to gain some cash flow for the day, and this is when I start to take profits after a nice move in my favor. But yeah, look at that. That was perfect. Like, literally perfect. I'm glad that it just did that live. Let's see where too much force going up because of how strong the push up is. Exactly. No reversal. Testing previous high. Should wait for more confirmation in your direction. Exactly. Check your price. Yes. NQ important levels. Stop playing. And NQs at our point. This is why we look at multiple stuff. Oh my gosh, bro. Look at that. I don't. Dude. People ask me why I'm consistent. Literally the levels, bro. That is insane. And most of this stuff is probably going to fly over people's heads. But what I'm giving you right now is more than any course is ever going to give you. Like, that is insane. Right to the penny, bro. That is insane, right? If it comes down. So, look, this is how you can formulate the trade. If we see ES is coming down, right, and we took the puts on ES, right? So, when it closed, it was right around here. And we came down, and I see NQ bouncing off my important key level. Watch. Right? If I see NQ bouncing off our important key level, and I'm in ES puts right now, I think that this is going to keep going down to previous low day. But looking at something else, looking at NQ, why are we taking some profits right here? Why are we taking a good chunk of profits right here? Because this is a reaction level. This is an important key level. And look, it literally just did it real time. So that's why we started taking some profits. You might think, oh, this is going to previous low day. But looking at market context, why did that tell us to start taking profits? Because we're at a reaction level in NQ. We're at an important key level. And this is why I look at both. People call me stupid for looking at both. Dude, Look at this. This is exactly why I look at both. You wouldn't even known, right? You wouldn't even known to start taking profits there. And that's exactly how we're able to do what we do. Market context, dude. This is insane. Everyone could have their little supply and demand and this and that. Bro, no one has these zones. No one has these levels like I have them. It's crazy. And then it just retested. Look, it just retested the top of our zone right there. Like perfectly. Like literally the high of this is our zone. And you would think I had this after. I would think I had this after. But you guys could watch. We did this thing live. We had these zones here for almost 2 weeks now. Perfect reactions. We had this reaction level for almost 2 weeks now. You guys can watch all my watch list videos in the morning. It's the same exact levels. No one can do this shit live, bro. Only I can put these levels there before it happens, and it reacts there to make a plan off it. That's the only reason why I have these levels in the first place. I need these levels there before it happens, or else it's just pointless, because then I wouldn't know to take profits. I wouldn't known to get in for puts right there. You gotta have these levels on there before. And look, nice retest. That's crazy. Would the retest be a reason to get puts, or would you wait for another rejection? I would honestly, if you did, so if you were after a huge move like this, I would probably start to look to take some puts right there. But the only problem is NQ, right? NQ is at this important key level, and you don't have that high of a profitability just because we are at this important key level. So if I was going to get puts, it would probably just be a break under this important key level. I want to see NQ strong under this important key level because I know NQ is going to have so much trouble here. ES looks amazing, right? ES looks great. This is a perfect retest, right? Break and retest right here. The only problem is how NQ can be, and I know NQ is like, it will dog spy. Like this thing, if it wants to bounce, NQ will literally bounce the entire market, and you got to be careful of that. So I wouldn't play the break and retest just because NQ is at our important key level. But if NQ wasn't at our important key level, I've been in that all day. But just because NQ is at an important key level, I would not be looking for puts at that retest, just because NQ will literally move the market. Like it won't care. This thing will bring it right back up. But if this important key level wasn't there, then ES, I would have been in that. But you could still play puts off a continuation if NQ actually does break under this important key level and holds. But as you guys can see, NQ would give us so much trouble, right? NQ would just give us so much trouble if this thing wants to bounce, right? You can't predict, only reacting. And this thing right now, current momentum, this thing's trying to come up. This thing's bouncing at the bottom of this area right here. So it's not as high probability because NQ is right there, but if it breaks under there, it's over. Puts all day. So hopefully this doesn't break before the market opens. But yeah, no, it looked good. Break and retest right there. Perfect. Like that's the thing. It's like, it's insane how people think it's like how are you so consistent? This, like literally, if you just join in the morning on YouTube for free and just see these levels and just see it reacting real time, you'll know why. And you'll know why other people in the chat is also very profitable. Like, it's not just me. It's all of us in the call, live trading, real time, looking at these levels real time, having multiple people looking at multiple things to make sure that everything aligns. Like, this is why it's not just me profitable. It's all of us. And this is why it's like super important to have these levels and have these zones. Look at this. It's trying to come right back down. Break and retest. Literally the top of this candle is my zone. The top of this candle is literally my zone. It's crazy. And now NQ is still, look at this. NQ is still like right here in this area. That is nuts. It's just stuck there. But yeah, this previous low day, you got to be careful about this. This is where if I was still in ES puts, this is where you got to be careful about. NQ is still somehow in this area. So that's the thing. NQ does not care. Like, NQ will move the market. If this thing wants to bring the market up, it will. And it literally showed that yesterday. That 12.080 level, I still have PTSD from that 12.080 level. That's the only reason why I remember that perfectly. Because that 12.080 level was so strong for some reason. Don't know why. There wasn't even that big of a wall there. They just did not let it go down like that. But yeah, look, this is a perfect example. Anyone looking at anything else? Anyone have any questions? Make sure you guys like this up. 100 likes to do this tomorrow. Now NQ is about to go under this area. Look at this. Now we're going to this previous low day. So ES is definitely weaker than NQ for sure. Look at the test. There it goes. Oh my gosh. I know ES is flying down. Look at that. It's previous low day. Is NQ going to bounce? Oh my gosh. These bounces are brutal. I remember from yesterday. This thing will come down to the 50s, come right back up. Like, that's how brutal it is. But look at this, right? We're down to this previous low day. This is where you can start taking some profits. If you're in the trade, right? This is where you start taking some profits at very high probability areas. Look at that. Right into that previous low day. Look at that. Right into the previous low day. This is where I'm starting to take some profits. NQ broke out crazy right there. Dude, that in itself would have been a nice trade. Oh my gosh. That in itself would have been a nice trade. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And now it's at this previous low a day. Dude, that is insane. Now we're about to break under our zone. Dude, NQ is flying down. All about reaction levels. Literally on its own, when NQ broke down on this important key level, you could have got a nice move just off of that alone. A nice move off the break and retest right here of our zone. When it broke under here, you took profits right here. Why? Because of NQ. Look at this. It's literally perfect. It's insane. And now we're at the bottom of the ES. Look at this. We literally bounced. The opener of this is that previous low day. This is why we started taking profits where we started taking profits. People just don't want to listen to the market, bro. The market literally tells you what to do. Most people don't listen to the market. They listen to their own feelings. You have to listen to the market. The market literally tells us when I'm exiting, when I'm entering. A lot of people don't want to listen to the market. You got to be able to listen to the market. If you don't listen to the market, you're going to get burned. The market will tell you when to start taking profits, when to enter, when to exit. It's your job to listen to the market. How many people listen to the market and how many people let their own emotions lead them into disaster? How many people listen to the market? Y'all be listening to the market? Or how many people let their emotions get to them on the trades? How many emotional traders we got in here? I keep forgetting this thing is delayed. How much is this stream delayed by? Like 5 seconds? 10 seconds? You guys probably wouldn't even know how much this is delayed. That's crazy. It's that delayed. It doesn't look delayed for you guys because you guys don't know what delayed is, but it's delayed for me. Like, the chat is so delayed for me for some reason. But look, NQ is right back, all the way back up to this area right here. Retesting it now. That is insane. How do we get the sells where we get? If we're at the previous low a day, we start to take some profits. We're at the bottom of the zone, we start to take some profits. It's not that hard to listen to the market. Right there, right at this area right there, you start to take some profits. Again, entries. Number one. Bro, I would have been 3 for 3 right now. Or I would have still been in this trade. It sucks the market is not open right now. But we'll do it during market hours anyway. Closed under there. You get puts. One trade. You sold right there because of NQ level. Nice move right here. You could have got puts right off of this H right here. Another entry right here because the NQ broke under that important key level. Started to take some profits right here because previous low day. Right in this area because of the zone right there. Now it's trying to come up. NQ. Right, this is where we started taking some profits, came up, came right back down, broke out. That's where you get another entry right there for a very high probability trade. Again, the market's telling us what to do. It's just about if you're going to listen to it. Now it's react. Like, bro, you would think that we didn't have these levels here before. Like, you would not think that this has been the same level that we had all week. But it is. Literally every single watch list call this week has been on these same exact levels every single time. Except the previous low day and previous high day on ES, of course. But those are easy to find. Everything else, all these reaction levels, we've had these on our charts every single day. And they've been so reactive every single day. Rejection off of here already. That's crazy. It's nuts. It really is. I still get surprised about my own levels. Yeah, but people think that I go on demand. People don't believe the trading videos that I make because they think that I don't have these levels before it happens. Oh, it's so easy to do hindsight. No. You might be used to those traders out there on YouTube that are always hindsight. Oh, yeah, well, it came down here and I saw the thing and it came up here. And, you know, this is where I had my zone and my levels. No. Those are all hindsight, bro. You need to have these zones here. Post it on YouTube live right now like I'm doing before it happens. Have it weeks in advance because we had this thing here for weeks. So everyone can see that this is not on demand. This is live right now. Open up any chart. This is live right now. You have the same exact levels on your chart. Everything. Right? No one can do it like that. It's just stupid. Don't listen to hindsight traders. That's all I'm going to say. It won't work because it's in hindsight. You need to be able to find these zones and have these zones and levels before it happens. And it's just very nice reactions. Literally top to bottom. Literally top to bottom. Closed above our previous low day. Now, this is a nice reaction. You would think that we had this beforehand. Bounced off of here. Broke under this. Nice for puts. Calls. Puts. Came over here. Rejected this. Like, look at that. That is insane. Just nice reactions. Tesla Investor Day today at 4 p.m. That'd be nice. We'll see what that does. Golded. So you're watching NQ and SPY levels at the same time. Save your scalping. No, I use SPY as contracts. Like, I'll look at SPY contracts, XPS contracts off of ES. Like, ES is my vehicle, right? SPY contracts, SPX contracts are kind of my gas, right? I'm looking at ES, I'm using ES, and just trading SPX or SPY contracts off of them. I don't even look at SPY. But look, now it's trying to come back down again. Do you even look at SPY or are you strictly trading off NQ and ES in the chat? I'm just wondering. I literally just look at NQ and ES. I don't look at SPY. Like, I'll trade SPY, SPX contracts based off of ES. That's it. And the reason is, it's just ES looks so much cleaner. Like, you're not going to get this clean price action. That's why I stopped trading SPY for like a good month, because it wasn't this clean. So I found something that looks clean and I can get 0 DT every single day, which means my percentages and my profitability is a lot higher. Look at my recent videos this week. I never felt better. Like, my profits were lacking what they usually were. And low key, it kind of was upsetting that, you know, I wasn't like, SPY wasn't there for us anymore. And then I just figured it out. Let me just look at ES. I look at ES. Look at the profitability this week. Look at it. It's so much different. I got 5 out of 6 trades yesterday on a choppy and slow day looking at ES. Like, that is insane. It's just crazy. That's why I stopped looking at SPY. It's just not as clean. And then if I stopped looking at SPY, then I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm not going to be able to trade SPY anymore. And I was really looking at Tesla and NVIDIA. Next thing you know, Tesla and NVIDIA, you know, the contracts don't move Mondays. They don't move Tuesdays. Sometimes they might move Wednesdays. Who knows? But they're not the 0 DT every single day. And if it's 0 DT every single day and you can manage it very well, dude, your risk to reward is going to be so nice. I'm able to get Every single green trade that I took yesterday, I literally took like a 2-3% loss yesterday for my first trade. After that, 5 for 5 after that. Every single trade was above a 15% gain. You're not going to get that 5 times in a single day on Tesla. You're not going to get that on NVIDIA, especially on a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, you might be able to get that, but I want to get that every single day. I want to try and get that every single day. So that's why. And SPY, look, SPY is not that clean. Alright? You got to be able to adapt. Yeah, SPY is cool, but I'll just use your contracts. I'll just use your contracts. I hate the spreads on SPX, so I'll just use your contract SPY, and then that's it. I'll just trade off of yes. It works. Hit that like. Yeah, make sure you guys like this up if you guys want me to do this tomorrow. 100 likes for this tomorrow. You guys are almost there. But again, very nice reactions. Now, if NQ closed above this, came back down, closed, I'm not looking for a trade, right? The trade plan already happened. Now I wait for a better setup. NQ reacting like this at our important key level, back and forth, back and forth. I'm not taking a trade anymore. I'm just waiting, right? Now it's starting to chop around. If I'm still in contracts, then I'll have my stop loss ready for the rest of the contracts. But again, I'm not really trying to formulate a plan right now if I'm not in a trade already, because NQ just doesn't look that great. Back and forth like that, I don't like that. So I won't trade it. You don't have to force the trade. I'm not going to force something like this versus these two moves right there alone. Very nice moves, right? You didn't have to force that. This is forcing it. It's not as high probability because you have no clue what you're doing. What are you doing? Like, why are you going back and forth in our zone? So if NQ is doing that, you just leave it alone. It's just not worth it. And that's when I would just stop and just wait for the next setup. There's no point of forcing a trade like that if it's looking like that. That is nasty. Absolutely disgusting. So you just wait for it to set up better. And that's it. If everyone in the chat likes this video, it'll be 100 likes at least. Bro, they're too stunned at how well these zones and levels work. They never seen this stuff on YouTube before. All they see is hindsight traders. Let's do it before it happens. Let's have the levels and zones before it happens, not after. Let's have reaction levels before it reacts there. Like, literally right now, this is probably like a $5,000 mastermind. Like, probably even more than that, because you probably won't even learn much from a mastermind. You'll learn the basics. Like, this right here is all you need. Right? It's literally all you need. And you just formulate your trades off of that. Let's see, is Vegas up yet? No, he's not up yet. Let's see if he wakes up. See, now we're coming right back down. Like, you can't formulate a trade off of that. Can't formulate a trade off of that. But all you do is just have your contracts left and you just keep moving your stop. I've been letting my trades run longer. I literally, yesterday, I was like, I have 50% out. I'm literally leaving 50% to break even, because if this keeps going, it's going to be so worth it. And I'm not treating it the same as breakouts. These things can definitely run. If we took it from here, we put our stop loss to break even, it would just kept going, right? Versus if you're fully out right there or something. I don't care if it hits my break even. It hits my break even. It does, but I still took some profits off. And if it does want to keep going, then I'm able to start scaling out when it's up 40%, up 50%. That is huge. If you're up 50, 60% and you only have like one contract left or like 10 contracts left or like 10% of your position, it's not going to do anything. It's not really going to do much. If I have 25% of my position left when it's at 30%, that's going to do a lot. And it's all about how you optimize the trade. I could literally sell 90% at 10%, leave the rest. It won't do anything. I could hit 200% gainers on the 10%. It's not going to make a difference in my profits. Maybe by a little bit, but nothing crazy. Versus if I have 20% or 25% left in my position and I kept trailing my stop loss down, just trying to catch the whole move, then that would make a huge difference if I'm selling 25% of my position at 40% gains. It's a huge difference, and it's all about how you optimize the trade. It's huge. Like, I don't understand. The market just listens, bro. We listen to the market. Market listens to us. It's crazy. Just reactions at these areas. This is where you start to take some profits. NQ is just going to continue. And I swear if it breaks under our zone before the market opens, this is going to be ridiculous. Because the next area that I'm looking at is not until 39.50. So it better not do that. And it better start bouncing here. It better not do it. But yeah. Again, can't really make it any simpler. It's just the simplest trading can be. It's all about how you optimize a trade. Optimizing trades is so important. You could sell full at 5%, leave like 5% left to your contracts. You could get 1,000% gain on the 5% of your contracts. It's not going to make a difference. And there's no point of staying in there for a whole day when it's not going to really make a big of a difference. Versus if I had, like I did yesterday at that high day area, I literally said I'm not selling this 50% until high day or this stop loss, right? Which was at break even. So if I could sell 50% when it's up 20% versus selling 80% at 10%, that's going to make a huge difference in your profits. And it's just about optimizing the trade. That's all it is. Optimizing the trade. That's it. Dude, this thing is trying to hold on to this level for dear life. Yeah, someone's speaking at 9:45, I think it was. There's a bunch of stuff happening today. There's too much stuff happening today. So now we closed under that. Now we're literally at the bottom of our zone. So now, if it breaks under, you're able to play puts. If it starts to bounce, I want to see if it comes up, retests its previous low day area, and then comes back down and retests it again. So I make sure that I'm not going against all of this selling pressure right here. So the only thing I could play right now is puts if it closes under this zone right here, or if I see sellers really coming in. Can't play calls just yet. I want to wait for it to bounce a little bit and then come back, retest this previous low day area, and then I want to make sure that it holds this 3963.25 to make sure there's actual buyers there. I'm not going against this entire selling pressure, because you are. So it's all about just waiting. Especially with NQ looking like this. I would absolutely no way I'm playing calls right now. You would just wait, right? This thing could just continue. But if you're trying to play calls, I would wait for it to bounce a little bit, react there, and then literally bounce in this area again. And if it's starting to hold, that's when I'll be able to play calls. Literally the low of this is our zone. It's insane. It's going to try and go for it. Dude, this is perfect. Literally perfect. It's like we had this on our charts before it happened. It's crazy. I don't know how we do it. To the top, to the bottom. Make sure you guys like it up today. We got about 9 likes left until I could do this tomorrow. Also, join the free Discord because I might be going live in there today. So make sure you guys join the free Discord, and I might be going live in there. The link is in the description. We've been going off today. Like, we've been going off this entire week. It's been ridiculous. It's been insane. It's been nuts. Bro, I usually don't even give, like people have been asking for, like, discounts and stuff. I don't even give out discounts. It's just this week, bro, I've been going off crazy. Like, people need to see, like, bro, you can make money trading. Like, this is crazy. Like, it's possible. And, like, this needs to be shown to hella people. Because then the people that are in the chat, you know, they see exactly what's going on. But this industry is so bad that no one knows what's real and what's not. Which is why I'm going live right now to show you this. This is moving. This is moving. So, it is amazing. But I think you guys about to hit that 100 likes. You guys hit it. So, I'll be here tomorrow as well. Let's do this. First, so I usually don't even do discounts, but I literally been in such a good mood because of SPY that I'm like, I don't care. But let's do this. The first 2 people that DM me saying, DM me on Instagram saying $50 off the chat. You guys need to see us do this live. Like, bro, we've been going off. That's how you know it's been good, because I literally, this past week or two, I just been throwing discounts, bro. The market's been going too nuts for us, bro. Like, look at this. The bottom of our zone. Previous low day reaction. So let's see if it comes back and holds this area again. Then we're able to formulate a plan. What does your day typically look like after trading? Okay, so what I do after trading is I make my YouTube video. And from then until I make the YouTube video, it takes until about, because I live trade until around 11:30. After that, I go and I make my YouTube video. And that usually takes up until like 12:31 my time. And then I go eat. And then I leave to go to boxing. And I get there around 2 o'clock. I come back home at 3. I eat something real quick, take a pre-workout, and then I go to the gym at 3:30, come back around 5 because I hit the sauna, so I'm there for a little bit longer than usual. And then I eat dinner, make my watch list, make any more YouTube videos if I need to. And then I'm usually on calls. Like, I got merch coming out, so I just been on calls looking at samples. Actually, today, Wednesday, I'm actually going to see the merch samples. You guys seen it on my Instagram if you guys follow me there. You guys already seen that yesterday. I'm getting more merch samples because I didn't really like it as much. So I wanted to see if I can make it a little bit different. So I'm getting the merch samples. So I have to go there, which means that I'm probably going to have to make this YouTube video as quick as possible today. And then after that, if I'm on call at night, I usually kind of free up my nights. Not really as busy in nights just because, again, I'm literally from 8 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night, I'm literally running around. Like, it does not stop. And usually, after I make my watch list, it's probably like 7 o'clock at night. So I try and free up my night so I can hang out with my girl or I can hang out with friends. Just because you need to get your mind off of just, like, if you work way too much, you'll get burnt out. And I figured out how to not get burnt out so I can keep doing this for the long term. Because it's, like, cool for the short term. But, like, if you burn yourself out, you're not going to be here for the long term. So that's why I kind of free up my nights so I can get that kind of just freedom to not get burnt out like that. But I'll grind right now until about 6 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock at night. I'll make my watch list and then just, hanging out. So, oh my gosh, look at that. What do we say? We had the 2 puts or calls right here, right? Puts if it starts to break under here. Calls if it retests this and holds it. Bro, I would have been 1, 2, at least 3 trades in right now. Dude, this kind of sucks, bro. Low key. I'm going to start trading futures just because of this, bro. I can't make my watch list and do this in the morning and not trade how beautiful this setup. Start trading futures off of this. I don't even like futures. It's just too good of a move to miss. It's literally perfect. But yeah, that's a day in the life of Lander. Boxing 5 times a week, going to the gym 5 times a week. The weekends is what I like to call recovery. I like to recover during the weekends. That's my, I don't know. I just like to get some rest, trying to recover. Because 11 o'clock is usually the time I go to bed. I wake up around 7, take a shower, eat. I usually don't eat, actually. But I did have a bar today because I was just so hungry this morning. And then here at 8 o'clock. But yeah, that's the day in the life of Lander. I'm just always running around. I don't really catch a break until the nighttime. So, like, I'm going to be here, and then I got to go to my Discord. I got a live trade. Got to trade right now. And then after that, I got to post that YouTube video, make the YouTube video, and then eat real quick, go to boxing, come back, get a snack, go to the gym, and then eat dinner, and then make my watch list sometime at night, and then I'm just able to hang out with whoever. But it's crazy. It will start to hurt you though. If you don't really start to take a break, like I have the steam room and the sauna is like the best thing, just because it kind of relaxes you. If I didn't have that, I would not be able to go as hard. But like my shoulder, I had an injury in my shoulder, which I couldn't like spar or anything like that. But now that my shoulder is like back to normal, I literally sparred someone on Monday, and I am so sore right now. Like boxing and working out is great, but once you really start to crank up boxing, it's like, dude, it's gonna kill you. So you gotta make sure that you're eating enough. You gotta make sure you have the proper rest. Which I've been sleeping 8 hours a night. I don't usually ever do that. I usually sleep for like 6 hours, not even. So you could just tell how tired I am if I'm going to bed at 11 o'clock at night. So it's crazy, but yeah, it's a lot. But you gotta keep moving, right? If you don't keep moving and you're just slowing down, then it's like, bro, I'm only 20. Like, why would I slow down now? People are like, oh, bro, enjoy your life, enjoy your life. I am enjoying my life. I don't want to sit around and do nothing, bro. I just want to keep going, keep going. It's like, why sit around so then I have to pick up at 30? The stuff that I'm not doing now is the stuff that I have to do when I'm 30. So if I keep doing more now, then I'll be able to enjoy life a lot more in my 30s. Even though literally people are like, oh, you can retire right now. Like, for what? For what? I enjoy this stuff. I'm going to keep grinding, keep making money with the market, literally robbing the market, keep moving, keep progressing, and then when I feel like it's time for me to settle down and I might slow down, 25 years old, 30 years old, that's when I want to start to slow down. Okay, now you can go to wherever, right? You want to go to Dubai, go to Dubai. You want to go to Florida, go to Florida, right? The job's not done for me. Like, I don't want to take a vacation, right? I can if I wanted to, right? Everyone has the ability to be able to. I don't yet, right? That's the thing. Like, I went to LA last year. I probably going to go to Vegas this year, but I'm not going to, Vegas and this and this and this. Like, the job's not done. Maybe in 2 years from now when I'm really settled in and I really got everything going, like my long-term account's really flourishing right now, which it is, but I want it to flourish even more because the job's not done. Then I'm able to, I'll go here this week and then here next week and then here this week. Like, no, because all the time, that's just wasting time. Like, yeah, I can get the experiences, but in 2 years, I can get the same experience at 23 years old, 25 years old. So I don't have to keep going back and forth. I want to grind now because then I wouldn't be able to do this. I probably wouldn't reach my full potential trading if I wasn't locked in the way that I am right now. If I kept going on vacation, I might be like, oh yeah, I'll trade SPY here. Oh, it's just been choppy. I'm not going to trade whatsoever. I would not be able to do what I'm doing if I keep moving back and forth like that. I got to be locked in maybe for another 2 more years. And then after that, absolutely, I'm going everywhere. But I'm still going places. Like, people, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm still going places, but not like anything crazy though. Like, I'm not, Vegas this week, then this next week, then this next week. Like, no. I'm just waiting, right? I live a very, a very humble life. Like, I don't really spend a lot of money. The only things I spend money on is like watches and shoes. There's probably like the 2 things. And obviously like electronics and stuff, but I don't really be spending on anything crazy. Like, I don't really spend my money. All my money goes in investments. Like, I know what I can do with my money, right? I literally get a paycheck every quarter just from having money. Like, you keep that money, you put it into the stock market. Now I'm literally getting a quarterly paycheck for free, which means my money's working for me. And not only that, the appreciation from my long-term investments in the stock market, bro, like, if I just keep putting money into there and it keeps appreciating and I keep putting it at a time where I want to, like, if I buy SPY 350 and then 370, and then when it starts to pull back, I start to buy some more and keep buying it at the reasonable prices, it's going to keep growing and growing and growing. Like, right now, my long-term is literally, let's look at my long-term for this year. Right? Let's look at this long-term for this year. Right now, one of my long-term accounts is up 4.99% for the year. 4.99%, which means I made roughly 5% on my capital that I put in for this year, right? So let's say I put 50K, right? Let's just say I put 50K into the market. I just made 5%, which is roughly around $2,500. Literally making, it's not a lot. Oh, it's not a lot. But
for example, that was an example, number one. Number two, I just made that without having to do anything, right? All I had to do was just click a button. I literally put that money into that. Now, you could have spent 50K on a new BMW and that just depreciates, or you could put 50K into the market that gives you a quarterly payment every single quarter and also appreciates. It's not going to obviously appreciate every single year, but right now, for example, if you put that in, you would have made 5%. That's $2,500 more than you ever had. So it's like, I know what I can do with my money. Why would I just spend it? Why would I spend it on designer? Why would I spend it on Gucci? Like, no. I'm going to keep that money and put it into long-term investments. A lot of people can't long-term invest. A lot of options traders don't long-term invest. And if they do, some of them just gamble. So it's like, I know what I can do with my money. I know what exactly, if I can use this money to make me more money, my money goes to work. I worked hard for my money, so now my money needs to go to work, right? It's not going to sit around on me, on clothing and stuff like that. Like, yeah, like I'll spend whatever on clothing. Like, it might be a lot more than the average, but compared to how much I make, it's very small. And that's exactly how you need it to be. And ES is absolutely ripping right now. But again, just you have to be smart about it. Like, even if it's not a lot, if you keep contributing to something that will continue to make you a long-term investor and continue to keep compounding and compounding, literally, like, even though I don't like when people just dividend invest, because you would just make more if you just put it into like VTI or VU or something like that, an ETF. It's just like, a lot of people, you got to understand that if, for example, if you're just dividend investing and you can make 3-4%, that will give you more of a visual, tangible representation of exactly what can happen with your money. Like, if you put, let's say, 10 grand in or something, and you make 4% a year, that's an extra $400, which could pay off maybe your car every month, right? If you have a $400 car payment and stuff like that. So it's like, you can use your money to make you more money. Just a lot of people don't realize that. And it's just, that's exactly what I do. Tesla is trying to come up. I wouldn't say ripping, but yeah, this thing is trying to come up. I thought you meant it was coming up to that 210. I was like, no way. But yeah, that's the live stream this morning. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like. How many likes we have right now? 114. I would definitely say we passed our goal, so that's great. Just sold. Nice. But I will see you guys in Discord right now. If you guys are not in the Discord, then I'll see you guys on YouTube. Peace.